If it hurts, you ain't breaks, no games, you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, blue games after this win it. First year game, we're here for the first May. Carry block, keep it every 6 minutes.
Rocky Top!
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
The culture that hype and everyone has created in this building, it's been phenomenal on teams, and we're only going to continue to be better. And the standard around here, I've said it before, I'll say it again, standard is to be the damn best. And we're never stopping.
Yeah, they're scared. You get me? Like you can't double him or chip him or because you got me on the other side. And if you want to put a guard on me, you got Omar or Don Bailey on the 3 takes. Like you can't do nothing with that. You feel me? So offense they see us all out there. They're scared. Everybody's worried. Like so it feels good when we're all out there.
Shoot, to keep our foot on their throat. When we go up big, I think still coming to the sideline with the same mindset that is 0-0. And, you know, just carrying that out the full game, full 4 quarters like Coach Hop says.
Yeah! Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. We play for another. We fight for another. Every fight, every play, every round. Hey, Tennessee on 2. 1, 2. Tennessee. Ball, that team ready. Ready. Ball, that team ready. Ready. Ball, that team ready.
Good Friday morning. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. He's Coach Jay. We got new intro music around here. We got some new intro music. We got copyright flagged. I can't believe we got away with Phil Collins and Michael Jackson for as long as we did, but we finally got nailed. When was that? I guess it was Wednesday night. I mean, everything went to hell on Wednesday night, but Bubbles says got some hype on this intro. Dylan Elam says it sounds like Blink 182. I'm with it. I don't know. It reminds me of some like generic sports show, which I guess, Coach Jay, that's what we are.
Yeah. I'll take it, man. Hey, man. Hey, generic saves you money. All right, it's got good value. I'm here for it.
Every now and then we'll break out some good tunes. Nelson's in the house, says we're starting Boogie at quarterback tomorrow. I got yelled at on Facebook. God bless the people of Facebook. Twitter is full of toxic trolls. Facebook is full of poor old people, just old people. And I got yelled at because I called it a glorified scrimmage, which that's what it is. It's balls by 70 tomorrow night. But do you think if I started at linebacker tomorrow night, do you think Tennessee could still win?
I think they could still win, but I think you would get exposed.
It's basically
I think
11 on 10, and I think Tennessee
the
still wins that game.
yeah, the safety would be like, son of a boogie, get out
one of
there. But yeah,
one of the
speaking
funniest
of,
things ever playing softball, and I was playing. They needed an extra guy, and I went out there, and I always played like industrial league softball, right? But I played with this travel team, and they take it serious. But it was a run rule. The game was over. I always played infield, man. Played third base in baseball. I was always an infielder, never an outfielder. I'm like, I'm going to center field, boys. Dude, I lasted about 3 batters, and they're like, get, because I mean they would hit it in the gap, and I'd be like, you got it, left fielder, take that one. They're like, oh man, what a nightmare, what an absolute nightmare. I think the Vols still win by 28 to 35 with me out there at linebacker. I don't know. We'll see. What are you guys saying? You think can they cover the spread? I doubt it.
Maybe. It's a good it kind of leads into something I wanted to ask. Friday morning's always great. I wake up getting ready for the show, and I throw on Kaner. Shout out to Kaner, and listen to Boogie and Kaner jabber back and forth. But one thing it got me thinking of is, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, Kaner asked you a question about, will the Vols match 22's points per game? And you kind of stopped short of it a little bit, right? And if you look at it right now, the Vols are averaging 60 right on the nose. And in 22, they were averaging, 46 and a half, something like that. You think they got a shot at it, Boogie? You think they can beat that number from last year?
I don't know, man, because once you get into SEC play, you start playing teams like Oklahoma, you start playing teams like Alabama, and you talked about it, right? The ability for Josh Heupel to slow this offense down. You need to milk some clock. You need to chew some clock. You need to sit on it. This offense can do it in 2024. Plus, with the clock rules, I don't know. I think I may have mentioned it when Kaner brought it up. Tennessee's never scored 50 points in both of their first 2 games of a season, ever. So, again, we talk about Nico going out in his first start in Neyland Stadium and throwing for the most yards ever in a half. Now you're talking about this offense going out and scoring 50 points in week 1 and week 2, and that's never been done in the history of Tennessee football. I think we got something special. Yeah,
and Nico's played 6-7 quarters this season? Because he didn't play the last quarter, right, in the last game, and he only played the first 2. Yeah, so pretty crazy. But what I love about it is, and you mentioned it to me in the chat after that, like, oh, hey, someone in the comments was like, oh, you would have picked on Joe Milton a lot more than this, if he had thrown those 2 picks. And yeah, maybe. I mean, he was also like a 6-year senior. But the thing about it to me is just it's not so much the 2 picks or not the 2 picks, it's the overall operation of the offense and how it looks. And look how Tennessee was able to change their game plan. Like, did we ever change our offensive strategy when Joe Milton was quarterback? Or was it the same bubble screen, occasional shot, run the football with Joe as the quarterback? So I just think the way we operate now overall is just so much more elite.
Yeah, I mean, I had it. This was in like my little agenda, my little layout for later in the show. But I mean, we're opening with it, so let's open. to me, I mean, you look at this offense through 2 games, right? And they're let's see. I've got defense, and I'm trying to find my offensive. My offensive notes may have actually got deleted. No, here they are. Does this offense? Actually, I was going to talk as a whole, but we can just do offense. Better or worse than you thought going into the season? For me, Nico's who I thought he was. But on the flip side of that, and I know we talked about this going into the season, we talked about Josh Heupel's comments, opening up the playbook. Nico's who I thought he was, but this offense is way more than I ever expected with what they're doing. The 12 personnel, we talked, not us, everybody talks about 12 personnel all freaking week long. I like that. That gives you something else on tape. And that's not Nico. That's the depth at tight end that Coach Heupel has talked about. But then also Dylan Sampson is a weapon. These wide receivers are so deep. We talked about Squirrel White returning kicks versus maybe a Boo Carter or a Jamad McCoy. if a defensive back goes down, you're a little concerned maybe. But if Squirrel White goes down, guess what? Plug and play. We got another wide receiver we can throw out there. So let's start offense, better or worse than you thought it was going to be through 2 games.
I think it's right dang where I thought it was going to be honest. I really do. Maybe the wide receivers kind of, specifically in the first game, and I know we weren't playing anybody, but they look good, man. I mean, they've been catching the football. Everyone was worried about that, right? Like, how would they catch the ball? How would we look in space with that kind of open, different route, change route, option route kind of look come back to Tennessee, and it has. You can tell they understand the offense. A lot of them been around. Chris Brazel's picked it up really quick. I know he didn't have the opportunity to show that in 12 personnel too much. But I even said it before the game. Look, Nico is an amazing player. He's capable of winning the Heisman, capable of taking this team to a national championship. Is a freshman, but he's also a freshman, and he's going to make some freshman mistakes here and there. Nico, even in high school, has an incredible arm, and every now and then he's going to try to fit a ball maybe where he shouldn't, or dare to be great a little more than he should. I think he'll find better balance to that as his career continues. But it's kind of right where I thought it would be, to make a long story short. Some of the blocking schemes, and I know Tom has been hard on them, and he hasn't been hard in this regard on their counter scheme. Some of their counter schemes that they're running, specifically the one where they put Kitzelman in the wing, and they'll have Sprague and Campbell down block the line, and then they'll have Hurd pull and kick out with Kitzelman. That's really difficult to stop. And when they start running like tunnel screen play action off of it, good luck, man. Good luck. Good freaking luck.
Yeah, I mean, as a linebacker, what's going through your head right there? You got 2 offensive linemen pulling one way, you got a tackle going the other way, and you got Kitzelman, and then you, like you said, you throw in play action off of it. How in the world, you talk all the time during the film breakdown of that first step, right? I'm watching the offensive lineman's first step, watching his feet. Is he back on his heels? Is he forward on his toes? You got all that eye candy. How in the world can a linebacker defend this defense? Oh, and let me add on that we've got you spread sideline to sideline with all this grass in between. How in the world do you defend this offense? I don't know that you can.
You can't. You need a stud D lineman that can blow up that initial down block, specifically on that counter that I was just talking about, to give you a chance as a linebacker. There were a couple plays that I actually froze it, and it's funny that you brought up that first step, because NC State was playing back a little because they respected Nico. But when that linebacker was sitting back, it just allowed Hurd to pop through that hole and murder him 3 yards down. When that hole creates as a linebacker, you're right. You got to step through it. You got to run through that hole and almost meet the back, at the line of scrimmage through it. But a lot of linebackers aren't going to do that because they're worried about either the eye candy or a tunnel screen or a play action to the slot coming behind that tight end. It's hard as the back. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Agreed, Tom. Agreed.
Let me catch up with the chat. You guys dropping some door fees and some super chats, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this defense through 2 games and if it's where we think they should be. Rocky Top Tom for 5 says door fee and a woo. Go Vols. Appreciate you, Rocky Top Tom. Scott Bennett's been a member for 2 years. 2 years of support. Says go big freaking orange. You want to support the channel, think about hitting that join button over there beside subscribe. You can do it for as little as $1 a month. Scott also drops a $5 super chat. Says cover charge, have to work for the man, so I'll chip in early. Let's go to Scrooner 8 week. Yeah, we're skipping right over. We're going to skip right over Kent State. Don't worry. We're probably not going to talk a whole lot about Kent State tonight, but Coach Jay and Coach Rice are going to do your breakdown tomorrow morning. Early video will be dropping. They talk the scout. I can't tell you a single thing that Coach Jay or Coach Rice said in that video. I completely ignored them, put them on the screen, then I played on my phone, and then I came back because I don't care what Kent State does. But if you care, they're going to break it down for you tomorrow morning. Drew, UT Law for 5. No better way to spend my time in chemo treatment than Talkin VAWLS, GBO Vols by 50. Well, thoughts and prayers are with you, Drew. Hang in there, brother. Hopefully we can distract you a little bit while you go through that. Joseph Ayers for 2. Love the live Friday morning shows. Door fee, GBO, we appreciate you. CAHVAC becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that support. Carson drops a $2 super chat. Bama takes an L this weekend. Hashtag GBO. Brian also becomes a member of the channel. Thanks so much, Brian. We appreciate that. Even if you guys just give at the $1 tier, the more memberships we get, that's why we're doing this morning show, right? It gives us the opportunity to do this on Monday mornings, Friday mornings, drop all this content. We could not do it without you. Look at this guy, Seth Justice in the house says, howdy. When is the last time we saw Seth Justice in the chat? It has been a minute, my friend. It is good to see you. Get back to the Talkin VAWLS family. Come hang out with us. Miss seeing you in the chat, buddy. All right, let's talk about the defense. We talked about this offense, and I got some numbers for the offense I can throw at you. You mentioned 60 points a game, second in the country in scoring right now. Do you know who we're behind? You know who we're
Ole Miss, right?
Shout out old Lane Kiffin. We probably had this conversation. I actually like Lane Kiffin. I do. I like him. I like his antics. I think he trolls people. I think he has fun with it.
Yeah, I don't
love him, man. He tried to come out there to USC.
Yeah. I don't dislike him. Yeah, that USC job didn't go well. I think a lot of people on the East Coast forget about that just because our games are out here so much later, and they didn't really watch what happened at USC. But it was a crap show. I mean, he got in that Ferrari and he crashed it square into the wall and
but he was also following Pete Carroll, right? Didn't he follow Pete Carroll? So yeah, it's like following Nick Saban. Do you really want to follow Pete Carroll? I mean, USC was a dynasty at that time, like such an elite program, and he was young, man. I don't think he was ready for that. That's what I always go back to, and people get mad because he left. And he screwed Tennessee. He sent us on this downward trajectory. Had he stuck around, would he have had success at Tennessee? Maybe, maybe not. But because it was one and done, that just destroyed Tennessee and sent us on this downward spiral until Josh Heupel came and pulled us out of the ashes. But anyway, 60 points per game, second in the country behind Ole Miss. But then you go look at passing yards per game, 312. That's 20th. Rushing yards per game, 276.5, 12th in the country. Third down conversion percentage, 55%. That's 16th in the country. Red zone scoring, 92%. When did they not score? I don't remember. Were they in the red zone?
The pick six. I think they were at the 18 or something, right? Or 17.
See, I did not think that they were in the red zone. I couldn't remember what play. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
But still pretty good numbers. It makes me laugh. People saying the offense didn't look good against NC State when they ran the football for 250 yards. But talking about the defense, 2 weeks into this thing, better or worse than you expected? On all three levels, kind of break it down level by level.
The D line is right what I expected. To follow up on your Pierce video, I'm 0% worried about Pierce. I think he's actually played well in the limited time we've seen him. Obviously, only played 11 snaps, but I thought he did his job.
You know the comments I got on that they didn't listen to a single word I said. They just they just immediately commented and said, "Well, he's getting double teamed and triple teamed. He didn't play snaps." I'm like, did you listen to anything I said? No.
But Pierce right now is resetting the line of scrimmage 3 yards into their backfield almost every single snap that he's in there. Just forget everything else. That one fact, if I came up to any D-line coach in America and said, I'm going to give you a Leo, and not only can he drop back and cover passes and intercept balls and cover running backs and tight ends perfectly, but he's going to reset the line of scrimmage 3 yards back every single time, and that's all you had to go on, you would pick that player up 900 million times out of 900 million times. Like, that is awesome. And you see what it's done to the weak side and the weak side D tackle. West, all those guys have been eating. So I'm really happy with what Pierce has done. This D line, as we thought, is deep, and you're starting to see what it does to teams. Look how flustered NC State's offense was on the offensive line in the second half of football. They were starting early. They were false starting because they were, worried about Tennessee getting such a quick jump off the ball. They were fumbling the football because the D line was getting them antsy, making them on the edge. And that happens because they're fresh, because you're sucking gas and all of a sudden you got a fresh guy in there. Oh, and by the way, he's a stud. Oh, this play is going to be awesome. They're putting their fourth string on. And then on runs Jordan Ross and he, murders you. It's it's almost unfair. So I'm super happy with the D line. The linebackers, I'm happy with. I'd say I give them a B right now, not a B minus, not a B plus, a solid B. I think Arian Carter's looked good. He hasn't been perfect, but he's looked good. And if last year showed us anything before his injury, he kind of is the type of player who starts to get his feet under him and settle down and get calm and kind of get into it as he goes. I think he'll get better game by game. I thought he looked better week 2 than he did week 1, even though he looked all right. I think Keenan Peely's a dude. He commands the defense really well. I like the aggression that he plays with. They both look pretty good in coverage too, which I'm really happy about. We'll see when they get thrown in conflict. I do bring it up. This team that we're playing, even though they're really bad, their receivers like to put our linebackers in conflict. They'll run like a swing pass with 2 slants, or a rub route inside with a running back swing pass on top of it. So let's see if our linebackers have learned, their job. The star position, I like when Boo Carter blitzes a lot. It's really dangerous when he does. I think he could work on a little bit of tackling for him in certain situations, situational tackling. But for the most part, I thought Boo's looked good at star. I think the cornerbacks, I mean, we've got one game, but when Ricky Gibson and Jermon McCoy are on the field together, we've seen it, man. They're giving that D-line the extra time. They're covering their guys. The safeties have been a little better than I thought, but still not where I want them to be. So we'll see how they come along. So overall, I'm really happy with where the defense is.
This where did it go? I had a comment that made me chuckle, and I don't know if I'm chuckling for the right reason or not. Preston Porter in the chat. Anyone else think the stream looks super crisp today? Is this a Dauber joke? Is this a Dauber joke? Is it because nobody's lagging out? Because, man, what a disaster Wednesday night was. But Dauber did have the internet company come out. They had the wrong wire hooked up for him. So hopefully he'll be cleaned up, dialed up, ready to go. By the way, Saturday, we're not really technically doing a post-game show. We're going to do a watch party. So we're going to do the tailgate show, let you guys come on, hang out an hour before kickoff. We're going to kick all of you off. And then some of the hosts are going to hang out and watch the game together. And maybe we'll do like a little recap at the end. But I just think it'll be better for Kent State. A lot of you guys always ask us, man, do a watch party for football. But the post-game shows are one of our best shows. But I think that game, it would be like a midnight, 1 a.m. post-game show. I think this will be better. I think this will be fun. I think this will give us a little something different to do for the Kent State game. And then we'll get back to business as usual for the Oklahoma game. Let me catch up with you guys. Billy Todd for 2 says, Dorfy, love the Friday morning live show. Appreciate that, Billy. Smash that thumbs up. Share it out. Let people know we're live. Papa J is in the house. Drops a $5 super chat. Says, work morning, Dorfy, GBO. We appreciate you, Papa J. It's good to see you in the chat. Peyton K for 10. How are you guys ready for a cupcake Saturday? GBO. I don't know, man. Me and Kaner were laughing after we finished recording Locked On Vols yesterday. He was like, good Lord, that was awful. I said, I've been dreading doing this show all morning long. Last week was so much fun on Locked On Vols. It's like we had so much to talk about. And he's like, oh, man, target season's over. It's football. We got ball to talk, man. That was such a fun show. This week, the show ended, and we were both like, yeah, that sucked. We had I am so ready for the Oklahoma game. And then it's going to be high and then low again because we got a bye week. But look, you get 12 of these regular season games. Enjoy them, drink them in. I'm going to be watching it, be ready to talk about it with you guys for that watch party. Brian drops a $10 super chat, says, this is the only channel I have or will ever join. Boogie Bentley and Coach Jay, the way you guys give your content, GBO, I think we could even take Georgia. Sign me up for that. And I appreciate those kind words, Brian. That's very kind. We appreciate you tuning in, hanging out with us. And since you mentioned Georgia, I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. Tennessee can compete with any team in the country. Any team in the country. There's no more keep it close. They can beat anybody on any given Saturday. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. I want to talk about a couple of individual players. Let's go one on offense, one on defense that maybe surprised you a little more than they should have. I'll go first, let you kind of put your thoughts together. A guy you're excited about. Offensively, for me, it's Miles Kitselman. And I know VolQuest talked a lot about him and talked about how this coaching staff really likes Miles Kitselman. But what you've seen him do when he transferred from Alabama, I'm like, is this guy just a glorified offensive lineman? Like, is he just coming in just to block, but he doesn't have the athleticism or the pass? He's shown it all, man. He can block, he can catch, he can play in space. I like Miles Kitselman. Defensively for me, I'm doubling down. And I'm going Jacoby Thomas. I think he looks good. I think he looks fast. I think he looks athletic. I think he is trying to earn Tim Banks' trust. And I wonder if in practice and scrimmages he's getting beat over the top because he is so aggressive and he plays downhill. So I don't know. Shout out to Will Brooks for the pick 6. I'm ready to see more Jacoby Thomas, and see if we can get him up to speed. He's young, isn't he? Is he a sophomore, junior? I can't remember. Let me look. Hold on. The depth chart, because this is important. I want to see.
I think he's
junior. He's a redshirt junior, so he's got another year to play. Will Brooks will be gone. Andre Turntine's also a redshirt junior. John Slaughter, of course, a sophomore, and then Idris Farouk, true freshman. So I don't know. I like me some Jacoby Thomas.
Yeah, Jacoby's great. And offensively, I mean, my mind went right to the tight ends right away because I thought they'd be good, but they've really surprised. And Kitselman, I think, is an obvious first choice, so a good one there. But I'll tell you what, and I watched the game a million times, right? I've watched both games a million times. There is one who I think I'm a little surprised about it, Boogie, and it's one you might not think of off the top of the bat, but it's Mays. Mays is playing a lot better than he's played the last few years, and he's played great those previous years. I thought he kind of hit his plateau the last couple of years, and that's the player he was, and it was good. It was great. It was, on the cusp of All-American. To me, he's the best center in America right now, period.
You think it's because
he's
healthy?
Step.
He's healthy.
Yes. Yeah,
last year, he had all the issues going into the season. It took him time to get up to speed. I mean, we saw him. What was the first game he played in? Was it Texas A&M? Whatever the first game, he was sucking wind, right?
Yep.
And you got to think, too, man, you talked those guys into coming back, those COVID seniors like Coop. How old is Cooper Mays? Like, he could be in the NFL right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, he could be in the NFL. So,
yeah. No, he's his hand positioning's dang near perfect every play. This offense has gone in. Yeah, exactly. This offense has gone in warp freaking speed, right? With Nico there. And it's partially, I don't want to not give Mays credit too, because you would think, with the coach communication, with as quick as Nico can move and all his pre-snap stuff, you would think Mays, would be sucking gas, like you said, but he has been setting them up at least 2 seconds faster when he gets to the ball. He is, I'm telling you, man, he is at warp freaking speed right now. It's impressive to watch. Imagine once they've had 4 or 5 games together and they've been doing this. Whew, man, I'm excited about it, I'll tell you that much. On the defensive side of the ball, gosh, there's some good ones there, but I'm going to go West. I thought West was great in the bowl game, but I was unsure, like, did he just step out and have a good game because he was so much faster than Iowa? That kid's elite, man. He's taken a step too. And that's a scary thought because it really makes it hard on teams because we can keep them fresh because with that cheetah package, we bring in Josephs at times to rush on the opposite side of Pierce, which means, West is sometimes playing only 2 downs a series and then getting blows. And he's fast. He's strong. He's laying the wood when he comes. He's absolute got a hit stick on him, popping the ball out. He's doing it all right now, man. It's a joy to watch him, but there's a couple good choices on this defense.
Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. Ron the Don for 5 says Dorfy from the back closet. Let's go, Big Orange. This is a let's see what you can do game Saturday. Let's go. Dylan Elam for 5 says Kitselman went from a walk-on at Bama to a potential draft pick at Tennessee. Take notes, recruits. Dude, that tight end room It's only about to get better. And
Yeah.
there's like the guys that are in there now. I think Kitzelman, is he an upperclassman? Yeah, he's a senior. Holden Stace will be back. Ethan Davis is only a redshirt freshman. Then you're going to bring in Jack Van Dorsey. Then you're going to bring in Desan Brame. Then you're looking to the class of 26. You've already got Carson Sneed committed. You got the kid, his name skips my mind right now, number 1 tight end of the country, Kendry Harrison. Dude,
Yep.
that's
Providence
you
Day.
talk about an
Yeah.
elite tight end room. And now another toy in the toy box for Coach Ivel, man. It's exciting. Carl, the accountable accountant, ballot ban for 2. I prefer Jacoby Thomas and Will Brooks on the field. I don't know. What do you think of the play of Andre Turrentine, gold jacket, green jacket? His name's not getting mentioned a lot, and that's probably a good thing for a safety, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing. And, as mentioned earlier, I think they're getting a lot of help from Jermon McCoy and Ricky Gibson. It helps as a safety when your cornerbacks and your linebackers are doing their job, when they're, on them in man, when you're in zone, when you're rerouting their routes, to the right spaces and feeding them into your correct zone. Gosh, it's hard to put a value on how much that can help you as a safety, but it's looked great. Turrentine, would I classify his play as kind of mid right now still? Yeah, I think I would. I think he's got better football in him, but he, by no stretch of the imagination, has looked bad. He's done his job, let's say 80% of the time. So I'd like to see more, though. I think he can be dynamic. He's got the talent, right? He's got the base talent levels. So I'd like to see him ratchet this thing up a little bit, and we'll see.
Come on.
I missed it.
That's
Sorry.
that's a Tuesday night comment.
Oh,
right
it's a
there.
Tuesday comment.
Yeah. Oh, that's a late night talking balls. Sean Cross with 10. Bold prediction: Carson gets a sack tomorrow night. I'm assuming Carson Gentle is who he's talking about. Kiss my arse, Boogie. Love you, man. I'll see you Tuesday night, Sean. I'll see you Tuesday night. I'll probably be 172-0 against you when it's all said and done. But we'll get it down. We'll get down on Tuesday night. Melanie drops a $5 super chat. We appreciate you. Says we are the team this year. Even the haters are admitting it. Hashtag GBO. That's a good segue, Melanie. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Austin Stubblefield for 5. Do you think they will call the game off early like they did the South Alabama game from beating them so bad they didn't finish the fourth quarter? Both teams have to agree. Both teams have to agree. If you're up 50 in the second half, I think it's a running clock. But both teams have to agree. I don't know that Josh Heupel would agree to that. I think he wants to get some run for his young guys.
I am, as a coach, I am never in favor of a mercy rule. I don't think I ever am in favor of it. There's always kids that can be playing. I mean, even if you're the team losing 70-0, like you just said, you can always strengthen your youth. If I'm getting beat 70-0, yeah, play your youth. Let them play. Let them get run. Work with them. Weird. Coach. Actually do your job and coach your guys up. Use it as learning and teaching experience. Swallow your pride for a second and work at getting better. There is nothing wrong with working at getting better when you're a young player or when you're a coach. That should be always the goal, no matter the circumstances. So I am never in favor of stopping a game early. You can always get better as long as the conditions are safe. I say you finish the game.
Hey, something me and Kaner were talking about on Locked On Balls that he dropped this morning is, does Tennessee's defense continue the run of not giving up a touchdown? And I said, yeah, 100%. And I said the reason why is guys like Idris Farouk, right? Those are the guys that are going to get run when this game's over. Do you think Idris Farouk's going to go out there and just kind of go through the motions? No, he's going to try to take somebody's head off. He is going to go out there and he's going to imagine he's in the college football playoff. I don't think these guys have any, like, there's no gauge. It's full steam ahead all the time. So Idris Farouk, Jordan Ross, Carson Gentle, if he gets in this game, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to go after somebody.
Heck yeah, he is. Heck yeah. That's your chance, man. Look, you've been in high school or Pop Warner, your whole life, and all of a sudden you're getting to play on the grass in Neyland, man. Like, what a feeling. Think about that for a minute. Think about how it would feel. You didn't get in the Chattanooga game, and you only get a certain amount of snaps because you're a freshman. You've been working all hard in spring. You worked really hard in the summer. You busted your tail, and Coach G looks at you and goes, hey, Gentle, get out there. How are you going to feel
Let's
inside,
freaking
man?
go.
I guarantee you, you're ready to run through a wall. So that's exciting, man. You should be excited to watch your kids out there executing like that.
Dave Morrison for 2. Arkansas State and Butch will beat Michigan on Saturday. It's too early to be drinking, Dave. It's too early to be drinking. That would be epic. That would be amazing. I would be here for it. Let's go, Butch.
As long as they don't lose the game, right? Before they win the game, they'll be
If I
all
was
right,
a professional, I'd have that clip ready to roll out.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Negative all for 5. What is the over-under on defensive touchdowns this year? What do they got right now? The Will Brooks? Is that it?
I think just the one right now.
Negative all. If you gave me a number, I could say over or under.
8 or 9.
God, 8 or 9's a lot. That's a lot.
It is. Well, but if we're a playoff team, there's going to be a lot of games.
Sure.
Okay, sure, Coach.
Give me 6.
Sure.
Give me 6.
Yeah. What if we get 4 in this
Give me
game?
6. Never say never. Jordan Ross out there, dude's trying to block punts when the score's like 85 to nothing. He's like,
he was like,
I'm going
to block this freaking punt right now. This thing is mine.
Which again is why I'm not worried about Tennessee in this football game. I'm not worried about them at all. Melanie asked a good question. Tennessee, can they play with anybody in the country? I made a video yesterday listening to Josh Pate. We're going to listen to it again, and we're going to talk about it.
As much as Oregon doesn't look like a national title contender, I've learned Tennessee's a national title contender.
Ooh, that was a dime.
Yes, see there. I went beyond just playoff. See, there's this tiered language that we use these days with an expanded playoff. And if you say someone's a playoff contender, that's a fancy way of saying they can make it, but they can't win it. Now, Tennessee playing the kind of defense they're playing now, combined with just Josh Heupel, anytime he's got elite talent at quarterback, they can win it.
Before the season, take your orange glasses off. Did you truly believe that Tennessee was going to be a national championship title contender? Not like you said, there's levels to this, right? Because I was saying college football playoff for bust, and that's kind of where I was at. Did I truly believe that Tennessee could go win a national championship? If you ask me, I'd be like, well, yeah, of course they can. Anybody can beat anybody. You willing to bet your mortgage payment on it? You willing to bet your life savings on it? No, I'm not. I'm still not, by the way. But Tennessee can beat anybody in the country.
Let's put it this way. I $200 believed in it before the season started.
That's more than I did. That's more than I did.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, I guess part of me, I said it before the year last year, like so much needs to go right for you to win a national championship. You need a break or two. You need things to kind of fall your way. You need, injuries not to plague you. There's just a lot that goes into it. Even if for those of you who were around, think of the 98 championship. There's so much that goes into that, and that has to go your way, that has to shake out right for you. So that's always really difficult. But
if Billy Ratliff doesn't recover that fumble against Arkansas, we're not even playing in the national championship.
No one thought we won that. When that happened, when they had the ball right then, I know how I felt. I was like,
it's over.
Dang it, it's over. Stun of a gun. Man, I remember where I was standing when that happened. That's interesting. But it's so much. There's going to be a moment where something needs to go your way. The ball needs to bounce your way. So we'll see. But I do believe that the guts are there for Tennessee. The bones are there for us to win the national championship.
They are a definite team in the mix, along with your Georgias and your Bamas and your Texases, Ohio States. They can win this thing. The difference is you will blindly buy into the notion that all the other ones will. I've got a solid portion of our audience. I go back and forth with you guys all the time who believe Tennessee just flat out can't do this anymore. I think it's just because of recency bias and you haven't seen them. If you're a 20-year-old viewer of the show, you haven't lived in a world where Tennessee's a national title contender. Well, you have now, because they are again. Just because they haven't in your lifetime doesn't mean they won't in your lifetime, maybe as soon as this year. So what did we always say? I'm going to talk about USC in a little while, but what have we always said with these coaches like Heupel? Man, if they can ever pair a pretty good to elite defense with what they do offensively, woo! Now, normally it doesn't happen because normally stylistically, DNA wise, you got to give something up to get something, but Tennessee's figured something out, and that travels. You know, they'll go to Oklahoma in a couple of weeks. Eventually, they'll go to Georgia. They didn't have a shot against Georgia last time they went down there. They'll have a shot now. They will have a shot because they got things that travel.
Let me just say one more thing. The standard at Tennessee is to be elite on defense. This is the home of Reggie White, Al Wilson, Eric Berry.
I love how he looks around at everyone after, like, anyone else? Anyone else want to make a comment?
What do you think it is with him? He's got a different energy about him this year. Like at times you see him and he's still upbeat. He's always been upbeat and friendly and a likable guy. The only way I know to describe it is he's on edge because he knows they can win a national championship. He knows what the goal is. And I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder. He's got a different feel to him.
To put it in Rocky terms, man, he's got that eye of the tiger.
He
right?
does. He does.
That's what it is. He got that eye of the tiger, man. He's hungry. He's hungry. He wants it. He sees the food being cooked in the kitchen. He can smell it on the plate. He's got his fork and knife. He hadn't eaten since breakfast, and it's 7 o'clock at night, and he's hungry, man. He's ready to go eat.
He's ready to get out of that media appearance and go watch film on Oklahoma. But he's not going to tell his players that. He's not going to tell his players he's watching film on Oklahoma. I was listening to VolQuest, and they were talking about coaches and have you ever done this? Have you ever been working on a defensive plan and you got a cupcake this week and the big game's the following week? I remember last year you had one game circled on your calendar. Were you ever installing something with your defense or talking to your defense, pretending it was for Kent State, but in the back of your mind, this scheme, what you were showing was really for Oklahoma, but you're just planting that seed and not telling them?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That was happening for probably 2 weeks before said game. So, yeah, absolutely. You're putting stuff in. You're laying the foundation. Sometimes you do that for weeks and weeks. Just kind of getting them ready for it. No doubt about it.
Let's see. I wanted to actually let me just catch up with you guys real quick. We got Paul Lindsay for 5 says the offensive formation when Nico threw the first interception is terrifying for any defense. Was that a play thrown in design to deceive in another game? I don't remember what the formation was.
I think every single thing Josh Heupel does is laying a trap for another game. To answer your question, Paul, I haven't seen throw out last year maybe, but if we're talking any other of the 3 years we've had Hype, almost everything he does, you can circle plays. Take the play a little bit ago that we ran where, that little underneath to Squirrel White where he gets running on the edge that Boogie played a little bit ago. They're going to run something off that. Those hard play actions, dive into one side, they're going to run something off the other way. That tunnel screen to the tight end where he acted like he was going to come out into the flats and then just sunk underneath for the screen. That was a beautiful play design, by the way. No one really brought that up, but there were a couple play designs in that game where it was high level play design, and there absolutely is alternates to it and different things you can run off backside to those plays.
And that's what, man, going back to us talking about the offense and what makes it like better than I thought it was going to be. It's not because Nico is playing better than I thought he was. It's not because Dylan Sampson's better than I thought he was. It's because this offense looks completely different. And it even looks different than it did in 2022. It does, man. It just look and throwing that 12 personnel out there. And I know we talked it and the old phrase that you throw out that I love is two things can be true. I think they thought they could run the football against NC State with 12 personnel, but it's also given Georgia, it's given Alabama, it's given Oklahoma a little something extra they got to look at and prepare for. And the quarterback draw that Nico ran, now you got to worry about, like, there are so many weapons on this football team. The playbook is wide open. What we're seeing is what Josh Heupel's offense can truly be. And how many times did I say it over the course of the last 3 years? How good is this thing going to be when Josh Heupel's got elite players? And I think we're starting to see it.
That draw I'll tell you what, guys. I've been sitting around. I heard Pancakes and Bacon talking about it too, but I was doing this even before I heard them talking about it. Just as a D coordinator, I've been trying to figure out how I would stop that play. I haven't come up with an answer yet. I really haven't, because you have to respect Nico's ability to throw the ball. And even when you're running a heavy box, you still have to respect him throwing the ball. So when he runs that draw off of it, you're going to be outmanned. You're going to be they're going to have one more blocker than you have defenders. No matter what you do, unless you're willing to pull someone off and blitz it. We haven't seen that yet, but as soon as they do, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. We've already seen it out of Nico. We've seen the fake draw, pull back, and throw. And I promise you, you're going to see that this year for a touchdown, because teams are going to say, hey, when we get this certain look and this guard pulls, strong safety, I want you to blitz. That's a lightning call. That's a hot call. I want you to blitz A gap when that happens. I want you to smoke under. It's going to happen. Book it.
Carl for 2 says Nico's first interception, I don't think he saw the safety. He went on to say after that, I think his reaction afterwards said that. I think you and I had this conversation off air, not on air. Miscommunication is what I felt when it happened. It just seemed weird. And then hearing Josh Heupel say in his media appearances afterwards, he's like, Nico's got to do a better job. He wants to have a couple throws back, yada, yada, yada. And then he goes on to say there's more to it than that. The communication between your quarterback and your wide receivers. I don't think Brew ran the right route. I don't.
There's different keys that will give you different depths of your pattern. And I think the depth key was off. Let's put it that way. And he thought a player was going to be at a different depth than he was.
Let me take that back.
Maybe it's not or the wide receiver.
They're just on the wrong. They're on two different pages. It's not that Brew did the wrong thing. It's that Nico thought one thing, Brew thought the other.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't want Brew to show up with his cookies and tote and
I do think that once Nico did see it, and which is maybe why the commenter here had that feeling, or it looked like it to him. I think once he realized it, it was like, crap. You know what I mean? Like, I need to change my throw, but the ball is coming out of my hand, type thing. So yeah, for sure.
The Lazy Llamas is in the house. What is up, brother? Drops a 20 spot. That's Orange Boy. We love Orange Boys. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Lazy Llamas say door fee plus late fee. Tuning in late, starting from the beginning, GBO. Well, Lazy Llamas in the future, it's good to have you on the show. Hope you enjoyed the first 48 minutes of this show. Let's talk about college football playoff. I love these articles. Shout out Grant Ramey. I was talking to Kaner. This is just behind the scenes funny stuff to me. I was talking to Kaner. I was like, why did Grant Ramey just randomly follow me on Twitter? Like, I followed him because I follow all the guys at VolQuest. And I've never interacted with Grant, never met him in person, never talked to him, never interacted with him. All of a sudden, I got a follow, and I'm like, that has to be from Kaner. Like, what's going on? On Kaner's show, I called it the Grant Ramey special because it's these articles right here, and I love them. It's basically, it's all the trendy buzz news for Tennessee football. Grant Ramey goes and writes an article. It's a free article on VolQuest. They plug it on Facebook and Twitter, and they try to get people to come click on their website to see what they're all about and then hopefully get your subscription. So I called it the Grant Ramey special, and I made some joke on Locked On Vols, and Kaner uses this AI software where it clips up clips to put out on social media, and it basically said in the buzzwords, Boogie Bentley rips on Vol football writer. And he sends it to Grant. And Grant watched the clip, and he's like, "Oh, he pretty much nailed my job at VolQuest. That's exactly what I do at VolQuest." And then he goes and follows me on Twitter. I just thought that was hilarious. AI trying to take me down. But this is a Grant Ramey special. College football playoff predictions. Tennessee becoming a trendy pick for the first round of the playoffs. Listening to that clip from Josh Pate, do you think the reason the national media is finally taking notice is because they're seeing this defense? Like we talked all off. We knew everybody knew the offense was going to be good. The national media knew Nico was going to be good. It is what it is. The defense not really surprising us. You know, we knew what we had on the defensive line. I think most of us on this channel were pretty excited about the linebackers and even the secondary. As many people question the secondary, we're all on here going, well, the coaches like them. The coaches are saying they're more athletic. The coaches are saying they got more speed. They're more playmakers in the back end. All the guys that transferred out were not very good last year. So we were encouraged. But I think the national media is seeing this defense, and that's why they're now buying in as Tennessee being a college football playoff contender.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily believed in the second and third level of Tennessee's defense from an outside looking in. Think of the Locked On Wolfpack guy, right? That was on Kaner's show. He was like, "Yeah, if I'm looking out there at cornerback, I see lamb chops, baby. We're gonna eat them." But for Tennessee fans, we've broken down Jermon McCoy. We knew he was a freshman All-American in a pass-happy league. We've been through it with Ricky Gibson. We did a Jalen Matthews, Ricky Gibson, Christian Conyard, comparison, and Ricky Gibson kind of came out on top of that for us last year, and then he kind of came in, and everyone. Do you think of the Iowa Bowl game? You kept hearing it from the announcer every other play. They need to target Ricky Gibson. There's a freshman at corner. There's a freshman at cornerback. But then you go back and watch that game. Ricky Gibson was on him like a chicken on a June bug all day. So we felt good about our corners. Our question was at safety, but with the D line and the linebackers and the corners playing well, I don't want to use the word mask, but it's aided our safety play. So I think now that the other part of the country is seeing, oh shoot, they can guard the pass. I think I don't remember who it was on Talkin VAWLS, but someone posted it like that Happy Gilmore, like at the end of Happy Gilmore where he sinks the putt in front of Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
He's like, somebody learned how to putt or whatever. Yeah, it's like that moment, like, yeah, oh, we learned how to play D. You're in trouble now.
Let's roll down to the Grant Ramey special here, and let's take a look. Which one of these matchups would you like to have the most? Let's start with on 3. First round. I like that, dude. Missouri at Tennessee. The winner would play Miami in the Peach Bowl. Sign me up for this. Sign me up for we stand on business, Josh. You don't think Josh Heupel remembers that? You don't think Josh Heupel keeps receipts?
For sure.
Josh Heupel keeps receipts. Let me tell you something. You don't think Josh Heupel is going to run the score up at Oklahoma if he gets the opportunity? He does. He forgets nothing. This game, what you talk about a hostile environment. Somebody just said in the chat, a playoff game inside of Neyland Stadium would be like an earthquake. You bring Dorkwitz in there, you bring Eli Drinkwitz into Neyland Stadium, hostile environment.
Mm-hmm. And I would be so dang happy if we got to play Missouri. That ticked me off. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being competitive and getting in someone's ear, but to act like a tough guy when you've been outscored by however many points it was out of two of the last, it's bad. If you look at all the games cumulative, it's bad. There's nothing wrong with giving them a little ear, but the comment almost felt like, like I've owned you, like, we're 5-0 against you, and ha, nanny, Billy Goat. It was a dumb comment to me, and Heupel definitely stuck it in his back pocket, and and talk trash and then run away, right? That's not really standing on business. It's running on business, but yeah, agreed.
Yeah, that was the part that killed me. Like, if he had stood there man to man, looked him in the eye and said, "We stand on business, Josh," and then just stared at him, like, how does Heupel respond to that? You know what I mean? Like, I would respect you way more if you were basically saying, "You ran it up on us last year. We didn't forget that. We stand on business," and you just stood there. That's one thing, but to go, "We stand on business, Josh," and then run away, it's like, what are you kidding me? You freaking coward! You coward!
Yep. Yeah, it's like if you almost get in a fight on the side of the road, and then you get back in your car and make a left, and the guy throws a soda at your car as you drive away. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro. Come on. Or steal Coach J's trash cans. That too.
What the heck, man?
I'm still hot about that. I don't know. Someone stole who steals trash cans? I don't know.
Just see you driving around with a baseball bat looking to
Looking for someone with a trash.
what are we doing? What are we doing? Grant Sims drops a $2 super chat, says Dorothy, thankful for the content, fellas. We appreciate it. Grant, thank you for the tip in the tip jar. Jeff Olson for 8. We appreciate that. Says Dorothy, loving these morning shows. Great work, Boogie and Coach Jay. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate the support. We got almost 350 people watching live. That's a good number for Kent State week. Do us a favor and smash the thumbs up. It does help this channel. If you're watching this on the replay, throw a GBO in the comment section. Attack the comment section is what I like to say. It helps, man. We're playing an algorithm game. Share this thing out on Twitter, Facebook, social media. Let somebody know about Talkin VAWLS. Word of mouth is huge. You know what, Tennessee fan? Tell them, man, check out the Talkin VAWLS on YouTube. They're not media. They don't talk at us. They talk with us. It's a big, giant community. Tell them what we're all about, man. Get them to come hang out. We're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're at like, I don't know, what are we, 27.3 or 4, something like that. We're on our way, 27.5. We're on the road to 27.5, Negavol says. We're getting close, but put on more steam. If you like the content, the live streams, the videos, whatever it is, think about hitting that join button. You'll get that Power T beside your name. Post-game shows, I try to highlight all the member comments in the chat so you guys have a voice here. But more than anything, just being honest with you, it's how we get to do this. I would have to be working for the man if it wasn't for the members of the channel. So I'm grateful for you guys and those of you that support us along the way, because I would not be on here on a Friday morning show with Coach Jay if it wasn't for the members. So we appreciate that support. Let's get back to it. So that was the first one that we could take a look at. Number 11, Missouri at number 6, Tennessee. That would be fun. ESPN. This is another good one. They're going number 10, Alabama at number 7, Tennessee. They're picking Tennessee to win that game and then go play Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. Sign me up for this. Like, I've got this bitter rivalry with Ohio State fans going back to the Carnell Tate recruitment. And then it carried over into the David Sanders recruitment. It's like they don't like us. I don't like them. And I sign me up for beating Alabama twice in 1 year. How about that? How about we beat Alabama twice in the same season, and then we go play the Buckeyes in the Rose Bowl, Coach Jay?
God, I would love it. My inner coach doesn't like having to beat the same team twice in the same year. There's just, and I think we could do it. Don't get me wrong, but gosh, something about that just kind of ekes me somewhere. But I would love the opportunity to play Ohio State. That would be an awesome, fun game for sure. It would be great. And the Rose Bowl, Coach Jay would be there with bells on. Have never missed Tennessee when they're at the Rose Bowl, so I will definitely find a way to make that happen if it happens.
We're going to beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. It's going to be the biggest post-game show in the history of Talkin VAWLS, and Coach Jay's not going to be here for it. It's all right. I'll allow it. I will allow it. I don't ask any of you guys to ever skip a game, ever. Another ESPN writer has Tennessee at Ole Miss. I would rather that be at Tennessee. You got Brett McMurphy. I don't know who half these people are. Tennessee at Alabama. USA Today, Nebraska versus Tennessee in the Citrus Bowl.
Oh, that'd be fun.
You got another one, Arizona versus Tennessee. Nebraska Tennessee would be an interesting matchup. Arizona doesn't intrigue me at all. The other ones, again, I want it to be in Neyland Stadium for that electric environment. It would be fun to go down to Ole Miss and end Lane Kiffin's season, or go to Alabama and end their season. Those just aren't as fun. But you like that Nebraska matchup?
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be cool. It's kind of some teams that have seen each other in bowl play before, and a young team on the rise that fell from prominence sounds familiar. Nebraska fans have kind of been through it like Tennessee fans have, right? So I love it when the quote unquote blue bloods of college football start playing good ball again.
Tom's pissing people off in the chat. He said, if you don't have a Power T beside your name, if you're not a member of the channel, you're a Bama fan. And man, Jerry took offense to that. He said, how dare you? I'm just trying to encourage people to support the channel so we can keep doing these streams. That's all.
Things can be tight, Tom. Things can be tight, man. Sometimes a dollar can mean a lot to somebody. But if you have it, we appreciate it, because like Boogie said, it allows us to be on here and do these awesome awesome streams, when you should be at work. So it definitely helps the community.
Yeah, I don't ever, never, ever have I told somebody, hey, you got to do this, or you got to do that.
Yeah,
we don't put anything behind the paywall ever, like nothing. Well, the EA Sports College Football Dynasty, that's the only thing that's behind the paywall. But I think you guys understand that. All right.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, can you imagine the flood of people
Oh,
that would have joined
God.
that thing from the beginning?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into a segment that you guys demanded, and that is betting. We don't condone gambling around here. We just don't. But if we did, Coach Jay, how'd you do this past week? What were your bets? What'd you hit on? What'd you miss on?
Oh God!
I was starting to say, tell us how much money you made.
Yeah, I was like, last week, I think I went over it. There was that little bit of question about the BYU game. I did have that one right. We reviewed the tape, which was funny, but I was a little like, I said it confusing, but I had BYU. I had, what else did I have? Jeez, I had Arkansas covering. I had Tennessee covering. God, I don't have all my notes in front of me right now. Forgive me on the old weeks, Boogie. I don't recall everything. UCF, I had UCF. I had Illinois +4 against Kansas. That covered. So yeah, that's a couple of them right there. I had Arizona State last night, but I didn't see the final, so I have no idea if I won. To be honest. I'm all checking.
I really need to do a better job paying attention. I completely forgot about this segment. So
yeah, I did not cover. I was covering when I went to bed, but it looks like Texas State scored late, so the old backdoor covered.
All right, let's see. Let me hit this real quick. Peyton K gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. We appreciate that. Who got the free membership? Bullman 64 was gifted that Talkin VAWLS membership by Peyton. Ryan becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate you, Ryan. Thank you for the support. Somebody said, I don't see any power tees, Boogie. What are you talking about? Look at your YouTube chat. You see a name in green. They got a power tee beside their name. That's because they're a member of the channel. They also get custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Guys, do your thing. Flood the chat. Show them what they've won. Flood the chat with your favorite custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Carl drops another 2. What does each quarter spread parlay mean?
It means there's a expected amount of points that each team is supposed to cover by a quarter. So they can be different or the same throughout the quarters, and you have to hit. So let's say Tennessee wins by 14 in the first quarter, and then 14 in the second quarter, and the spread was 12 in each quarter and 14 in the next. If you hit all of them, you get your exponential odds there. But like with any parlay, me and Boogie were talking about it off air. Parlays are fun. They're a lot of fun. I bet on them, but the power of exponential math is crazy. So just be careful. Know that the odds, specifically when you go from a 4-team to a 5-team, with the power of exponential math becomes really, really difficult to overcome.
All right, let's get into your picks for this week. What do you got? Who do you like?
Let's start with the favorites first, and then we'll get into the dogs. Obviously, I like Tennessee. I think Tennessee by 1 million. We're going to be great there. I like Indiana. If you find them wherever they may be, Indiana. Yeah, Indiana is -3. They play in the aforementioned Rose Bowl against the UCLA Bruins. I like Indiana in that game. I think they've played tough all year. I like their system. I like their coach. UCLA's in a little bit of shambles, and I like them. I like Indiana there. The next one will make Tennessee fans happy. I've got the South Florida Bulls at -10. So I'm a big fan of South Florida this week. See if we can find them here.
What time do they play?
There you go, right there. Southern Miss. Looks like it's gone up to 10.5. So you got South Florida -10.5. I like it. I know it's a quick turnaround after a tough game with Bama, but obviously I like the coach. Obviously Tennessee fans like the coach. I know some Tennessee fans are afraid that he's going to become the Florida Gators head coach. Does that worry Coach Jay a little? Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think Golish is a heck of a coach. So that's going to be interesting there. But I do like South Florida. I think they take care of business against Southern Miss. I'm calling a fluke. Right there, stop. Go down on just one team. There you go, LSU and South Carolina. I don't think it was a fluke that South Carolina necessarily beat Kentucky. I just think Kentucky's that bad. I think LSU takes care of business here on the road. I think they're just going to be too much for South Carolina. South Carolina's offense is a mess. And I think the strength of South Carolina is their defensive line. LSU has two first-round offensive tackles on that O-line. They're going to be just fine. They're going to be able to deal with that defensive rush of South Carolina. With that said, let's get into the dogs. The first dog I like is Wyoming +10 against Brigham Young. BYU. I like them in that game. Wyoming is a really tough team at home, really good against the spread. I think BYU's a good team. I had them beating SMU last week, but I think it's a bit of a letdown week for them, and I think Wyoming takes care of business once again at +10. The next dog I like is FIU, Florida International +5 against Florida Atlantic, and then the final bet I like is Memphis. I like Memphis on the money line. You want to add them in a little like long shot parlay on the money line. It's a good one. I think they get it done against Florida State. I think that team's in shambles right now.
The bet everybody wants to know about is App State -1.5 at East Carolina. They're going to go down there and take on the Pirates.
Ooh, they had
take
a tough
App State
week
to cover.
Yeah,
it's
they had a tough
Clemson.
week.
What do you expect? This ain't EA Sports College Football where Boogie goes out and beats Clemson on the road.
No. That's a tough job for App State. I had them covering the points though. Yeah, I like them against East Carolina. East Carolina's a fun little team, but I think App State takes care of business.
Well, we're not even going to talk about Kent State. What's going to happen is there's going to be a video dropping early tomorrow morning on game day, Tennessee versus Kent State, 7:45 p.m. kickoff. We're not going to do a post-game show. We're going to kind of blend it all together. We're going to do a tailgate show. We're going to roll that into a watch party for the host. So we're going to let you guys come on for the tailgate show. We're going to kick all you guys off. We're going to hang out. The hosts are going to watch the game, provide live commentary, hang out, shoot the bull, have a good time. And then we'll kind of do like a little mini wrap-up post-game show all on the same stream. So we're going to be live all night long. Come hang out and join us for that. Tennessee opened as a 47.5-point favorite. I think it was up to 49, somewhere around there. But tomorrow morning, Coach Jay, Coach Rice are going to break down the Kent State offense, the defense, give you some keys to the game. If you haven't done it yet, help us out. Smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is in the description below. All kinds of different shirts, designs. You can get whatever you want, colors. You can change that, make whatever you want. If you're a lurker, if you're hanging out in the chat, you never talk, you never say anything, you just hang out. This is the shirt for you. Again, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate and love all of you guys. We appreciate the support. You guys drive this channel for the fans, by the fans, the community aspect, Coach Jay. When we started this little thing, I never thought it would turn into this giant community. It reminds me of the general's quarters on VolQuest. Sometimes we gripe and argue and disagree, but we're all family and we're all Tennessee fans, and we hang out here on this channel. I never thought it was going to become what it's become.
It's awesome, man. It's like you said, it's built on the backs of the fans. It's what I love about this channel. I wouldn't want to be a part of any other Tennessee channel. I mean that it's great. The community's great. Football's family, and the fans, man. That's what I fell in love with at Tennessee. First was the fan base, and this is the channel for that, man.
Coach Jay live betting during the stream. We can provide updates on Coach Jay's bets while we're live.
There you go. We can do that.
It'll be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody always wants us to do a watch party. We always say no, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to do it. But that is going to do it for this one. Tune in tomorrow morning for that breakdown video, and then we'll be live an hour before kickoff. For Coach Jay, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
On reach all